Hello, my friends. Welcome to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and we're ripping off the Band-Aid. We're going to get the red decks out of the way. Yesterday we did red aggro, showed a build of that, knocked it out. Today we're going to come back with some red-black, or at least what people are calling red-black. Let's get real. Let's get real. It's just you and me, all of the haters, all the pretenders, all the people who aren't my real fans. They already unsubscribed when they saw I did a red deck twice. And if that didn't get them, my Scarab Gods and my Approach of the Second Sun certainly got them. They're all gone. It's just us cool kids now. Just the best friends club. Just the viewers who are loyal. So just between us, let's call a spade a spade. This is also red aggro. It's the same frickin' deck as the last one. It is. It is. Why do they call it red-black aggro? Why? Why? Well, for those of you who want to be really technically correct, it does have a black card. That's a reason. It uses a black mana symbol on the Scrap Heap Scrounger. Okay, whatever. But let's face it, we're doing the same things. Same things. We're playing our Bow-Mats and our Soul Scars and our Chain Whirls and our 4-drops that are just epically, mythically awesome. And we're just winning games, beating people up. Okay, it's not totally true. I'm being a little over the top. A little bit. But here's what's up. One of the big differences is this. Heart of Kiran. If this card is good in the meta, then you want more of a vehicle slant. When you want more of the vehicle slant, you need the Crew 3. When you need the Crew 3, you'll love Scrap Heap Scrounger. When you love Scrap Heap Scrounger, you may as well use black mana to bring it back. It also leads you to a place where, hey, Chain Whirler, you can crew the heart, that's sweet. So we want lots of red mana. But we also, you know, we can throw in some other stuff that works with this whole artifact thing. Now that we have the Scrap Heap Scrounger, we have the artifacts. Now that we have the artifacts, we can add the unlicensed disintegrations. And you get my drift. Unfortunately, Unlicensed isn't like the greatest in the meta. I still find 3 mana in this deck kind of hard. That's why I don't run 4. Not only that, I don't want to run many black sources. I want the bare minimum likely Seal Away specifically. Heart of Kiran, just getting in there with Vigilance and Flying makes a big difference in those games. So, Heart Power! Power of the Heart! And what else we got? Well, you know this guy. I'm down to 2 Soul Scar Mages in this build. I found that a lot of the games I lose, this deck isn't as fast, it is more powerful. Running Heart of Kiran is more powerful. Running this kind of variety pack up here is very powerful. Unlicensed Disintegration on its own is powerful. Regurgitating Scrap Heap Scroungers, you know, that works. So the games that you lose is like, you draw 2 or 3 Soul Scar Mages and 2 or 3 Bow-Bat Couriers. You draw the low power. So I'm trying to reduce that, get them down to 2, make it less likely that I'll draw more than 1 in the course of any particular game. But I've still got my Chain Whirler combo, which sometimes is just so brutal. So we're down to 2 on the Soul Scar Mage. Maybe I'm the crazy one. I still like my 4 Lightning Strikes. These decks don't usually play 4 if you look at Pro Tour winning lists and things like that, but I'm just not over it. I want to be able to go face. I don't really find the reach here to be that great. You really have to connect, and if your opponent, like blue-white specifically, if they exile your Scrap Heap Scroungers and counter your 4-drops, it's like you got to get the job done somehow. And usually the job gets done because your Soul Scar Mage, your Bow-Mat Courier, and maybe a Hasty Crop Crasher got in a few times, and the strike can hit that face. And remember, Unlicensed Disintegration may not have a target against the control deck, so you can't rely on face damage from that. All right, in the 4-drops, I'm doing Variety Pack Hour. They're all just awesome. Some of the red-black decks play a few more 4-drops. That's bordering on mid-range, but I understand where they're coming from. They would like trim 2 Lightning Strikes and add like a 3rd Chandra and a 3rd Phoenix or whatever. I'm just doing 2 of each, and that's the Variety Pack. So, shall we play the games? Rip this Band-Aid off, be done with it. Oh, mana base. 4 Sloughs, 4 Summits, 16 Mountains. Very low on the black sources, which is why I keep it very low on the unlicensed disintegrations. All right, let's get them. Let's go Rocket. I did a brief stream yesterday before I got interrupted with some work I had to do. I played some janky decks, plummeted the rank, couldn't stay in Diamond for even like half an hour playing janky decks, man. Oh well. You know, I'm not going to be one of those who gets on here and goes, your rank doesn't matter. I'm one of those people. You put a carrot of excellence out there and tell me to grab it, and I will try. I will give it the reasonable try, and this cannot be kept. To be fair, even if one of these was a swamp, I don't think this could be kept. It's too reactive with no clock. It's kind of hilarious. I drew the 2 black cards in the deck right away. What are you trying to tell me, Wizards? What the? Okay, whatever. No, I like the Bomat Courier, but since it can't come down on turn 1, but it does give me a play for next turn. But I think with this hand right now, I mostly want to hit my land drops and get out of trouble. So I think I've got to throw Bomat away in this particular hand. Like, our hand is plenty good if we draw 2 lands. So that's the plan. Not to Bomat lands, to draw lands. We don't have to... Mono red has to be really concerned with going fast. This deck, it just needs a little pressure, and then its stronger cards can take over. But, so we don't have to be as concerned about being hyper fast, but we gotta have some pressure. That first hand had none. It's just not acceptable. You cycle to cast out! You must not be interested in removing things. Hopefully we can punish that later. Uh-oh, the blue to the white. I'm not gonna fire my lightning strike yet, am I? No. It might come in handy killing a Teferi. I guess Crasher Clock's the best, since we get a free shot. I think our opponent, based on their play pattern of cycle cast out, play a tap land, kept a hand without too many blue sources. So let's see what they come out with here. They might even be shy on lands themselves. So this is a pretty critical turn. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one of these cards will I throw? Okay, well, there's another island. The mana lined up just fine. All the sources. And then passing of the turn. So, when you play your spells is important against this deck. So, like right now, they're probably holding up a Syncopate or a Disallow, something like that. So, if they had Settled Wreckage mana up, you'd want to play your spells before combat so you knew how much to attack with. But as long as you have one creature or they have less than Settled, you want to attack first, bait them into playing a Seal Away or something like that or not, and then possibly resolve something. And we're even going to keep the land in our hand to not reveal how much mana we have. We also may, if they do nothing and just take the damage, we may pass the turn and instead focus using our spells to disrupt like their Glimmer of Genius turn. Although based on what I have here, I'm pretty sure I'll just end up playing this Chain Whirler post-combat. So a little talk through there for anybody who may not have, you know, rehearsed all the finer points of aggro versus control, when to cast your spells. Like, this is most likely just running straight into a counter, and I wouldn't play it here if I didn't have good backups for the next few turns. But if it's going to get countered, let's not have it be one of these. Let's have it be a creature. Let's have it just be a silly, dumb, chain-whirling body. And there it is. Disallow. So, now as our opponent goes into turn 4, if they play an untapped land, they're representing Cast Out, Settle the Wreckage, and Glimmer of Genius. We want to make sure that we play our spells in the right moments, in the right places to deal with that. And look at this! Look at this! They go for Search for Azcanta. They didn't hit their land drop. They were a little mana light. Alright, so what we're going to do is resolve a good threat variety. We don't want to resolve a bunch of creatures. That's just Fumigate, even though we don't have that option if we wanted to. But what we definitely want to do is get a Planeswalker, which is a different type, a Heart of Kiran, which is a different type, and we can do both, so all day. And it doesn't matter when we do it. The only thing our opponent could have here is a Slash of Talons, which doesn't affect our sequencing in any way. So get out there, Heart of Kiran. Have a nice big turn while our opponent taps out for this Search for Azcanta. Punish them brutally. All right. And it looks like they found that land, or they wouldn't be keeping it. And now they're passing turn, being like, I'm going to settle your wreckage, boy. So we've got an interesting spot. Now we want to play our cards first main. So if our opponent's going to counter them, they have to do it at the right time. And then that leaves them without settle mana. We also have an interesting conundrum of how to use our Heart of Kiran and what to cast. So I think what I want to do is make mana with Chandra and play the Chain Whirler that plays around Syncopate and see what our opponent does. It also gives us a chance to Lightning Strike our opponent as well with the extra mana left over, so we can make full use of everything going on. Since I have spells I want to play out of my hand to turn on Hazoret, using the uptick to possibly get card advantage isn't as much a priority. You've been Chain Whirled. Brah brah. And now we have to decide how important it is for us to get settled or not settled. And because of cast out and things like that, it does feel like I'm supposed to just go right at the opponent here. If I get 2 lands, I guess I have Hazoret, I have Chandra, I have Chain Whirler, I have a lot going on, but what we don't want to give our opponent a chance to do is to like cast out our Hazoret. Or to cast out our Chandra, for that matter. So if we keep the pressure on, they're going to have a very hard time doing that and leaving up mana all the time. So yeah, I don't think we play around settle here. I think we go. We go, go, go. And we do get settled. Good opportunity to go find some extra mountains to help us continue to empty our hand and use Chandra. And we'll take this tapped out opportunity to throw a Lightning Strike right to the face. So no chance of negating that. Next turn, we get to put our opponent in the bind of first main Hazoret. If they don't have a settle, they almost have to counter it, which means we can then put 5 on their face and their 1-turn clock to Chandra. So we'll see. Our opponent is searching for Azcanta. Where could it be? What could they find? What is up in Azcanta land? Keeps it on top. So that... probably that land. Yep, I guess they've decided to keep hitting that land. So we've got to figure plenty of action, probably of the expensive variety. And if they're debating right now, that is probably what it is. It is Teferi. And they're plussing. Wow. That's interesting. You would have thought Teferi would have to potentially minus in that spot, but then they're just dead. At least this way they might have a seal away, something of that nature. Oh, they're going for it now. They're dead. They're dead. That's a big mistake. I'm not sure what would cause them to make that play, but that is not the play you make. So we go exile our top card.
This will be easy.
This will deal 2 damage. We have to remember to choose deal damage. And then Hazoret's attack. And you are dead. Dead, I say. Yes. Yes. Good. I don't think there's anything as polarizing as Teferi. There's nothing I enjoy more using, and there's nothing I hate more than being against it. It's so, like, I totally, even when I'm using it, as much as I'm enjoying myself, I'm like, I totally get why this is hated. I am the worst human on earth. All right. We got the cycle lands, which is fine. We only need 1 of the black sources, so one of these will probably get cycled. And we got, 1, 2 stuff going on, so we can keep it. We don't have removal, and we don't have any of our big 4-mana power cards. Any of our mythics. I'm kind of calling Glorybringer a mythic too, because it feels that way. But I think this motley crew might get us there. Get him. Get him, get him, get him. see. So I'm not much of a Hearthstone player. Never have been. I watched a Hearthstone Grand Prix, though, this weekend, and kind of picked up what some of the cards do and how some of it works. And they're kind of fireside, like folksy music. It reminds me a little of the arena music. It's like it's clear they want a very similar vibe going on. Blue White Part 2. Whoa! Really? All right. Skirt of the Bomat. All right, get him. We're gonna need more power. I'm cycling this now. Oh, I should have done it first main in case I draw it. I should have done it before combat in case I draw a Bomat Courier. Worst draw in the deck against control right there. Doesn't get much worse. Jeez, oh Pete's. All right, let's do this again. Flood got real. All right, yeah. If it gets sealed away, so be it. Opponent's got to be... We can't play around much here. Not much at all. So this is a case where even if I had the Train Whirler in my hand, I wouldn't want to play it that turn right into a Disallow or Syncopate. I want to disrupt one of their busier turns. Although it looks like they're just leaving up 2 mana here. So the Essence Scatter? What's going on? Well, we can play around Essence Scatter with the Heart of Kiran, and we want to play it first main for the Soulscar Mage. So let's do it. Might be a negate though, which is annoying. But we still get extra damage off our Soulscar. So, yay! Did it. Alright, in that case I'm going to save my Chain Whirler and try to disrupt combat, or disrupt their mana next turn, in case that 2 mana is in fact an Essence Scatter. We'll also play the Chain Whirler if Seal Away hits our Scrounger here. Double Seal Away. That is always a good recipe for beating the red decks. Ooh. Why do you suppose that is? I don't know. I don't know why they'd take the Soulscar Mage. Perhaps there is a Lyra? That would be awesome. That would be the best thing that could happen to me in this game, is if our opponent just slams a Lyra here. And there's an Essence Scatter to the bin, so perhaps they were holding up an Essence Scatter? All right, now we got to figure out what to do. Our opponent's unlikely to have another Seal Away, but they're pretty likely to have another Settle. Another land off the top is not where you want to live your life. I don't think a Lyra is really that likely, although taking out that Soulscar Mage really trips me up. Well, given that we've already seen 2 Seal-Aways, I'm going to send the Heart of Kiran, but nothing else. It's unlikely that Heart of Kiran is going to get around a lot of things our opponent does, although it does get around Fumigate. Although so does Scrapheap Scrounger. So, let's see. What I don't want is my creatures to get exiled. If he's going to exile something, let it be the vehicle. Oh my! He had nothing. He had nothing. Could have killed him. Ugh. Disgusting. All right, I need one of those 4 lightning strikes off the top. River to the graveyard. Are they flooded? That is there is a potential for a flood here. There's the fumigation. So, yep. Let's get our Scrapheap Scrounger right back. Our opponent goes to 5. Scrapheap comes right back out. And you are the top deck of the day, baby. You are the top deck of the day. Bomat Courier, hasty 1 damage. Finishing the job. All right, two straight scraps with blue-white control. And you can see I would give my favorite archetype, of course, the control decks fits with all these little threats and this variety of planeswalkers and indestructible and comes back from the graveyard and enters the battlefield and blah-de-da-de-da. But we haven't seen Unlicensed Disintegration be very much use yet, that's for sure. All right, here we go. I guess this means I'm on the draw this time. Ew, gross. Well, opponent taking their time, debating this opening grip, checking it out. And my turn. All right. Again, none of the power cards, but plenty of early pressure. And a removal spell this time, so we'll keep. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mirror? Is it the mirror? Lava Runner? Well, you're no fun for Bomat. I guess I'll play my mage. I got wizards too. Sup? Nothing like being on the draw in the mirror with a scrap heap scrounger. Don't think it gets much worse than that, boys and girls. In fact, it's a reason I, at one point, was down to 2 scrap heap scroungers in the deck, but eventually I just kind of figured I was giving up too much of the power and the reason to play the deck at all. And scrap heap went back up to a 4 of, and we just, except sometimes we're going to get run over by red decks, and our can't block scroungers are just going to be sad. Yeah, our opponent figured out their shock. Good, good. So a lot of your timer for shock your creature, Lava Runner you for 1. You got something else as well? A Rigging Runner. Weehaw! Alright, we'll play the Scrounger. It might influence our opponent to leave the Rigging Runner on defense, though I doubt it. And then if they do, perhaps we have a turn where we Lightning Strike and Bomat Curry. It's just hard to get anything out of Scrounger on the draw against red because why would they block? They have no interest in blocking. Blocking, no importance. Interesting. I guess he just wants his Lava Runner to be a 2/2. Cool. Here they come, maybe? When a red deck runs this many 1-drops, it's probably because they're maximizing on Hazoret, as we've already seen. 4 1-drops on the play. It's a lot of early tempo. Well, let's see what our opponent does if we play this Bomat Courier. Might fry it. That Phoenix will be really handy here in a minute. Okay, and I guess I'll play this other summit and say go. Decide whether or not to Lightning Strike one of these little babies, or whether or not to bring back the Scrounger. It's hard to figure out what I would even be trying to kill here. Of course, good old Chain Whirls would be obnoxious. The Rigging Runner does blank my Scrap Heap Scrounger in the long term, so it's probably the most likely thing to bolt. But I might need to take the damage first just to make sure there isn't a Chain Whirler type target. What we need is this Phoenix to stick. That's really where the game's gonna start hinging. And if our opponent's down to 2 cards, it seems likely. Well, if you have Hazoret, opponent, I hope you would have done it by now. Oh, hello. Well, that's convenient. That makes the Lava Runner a convincing target, as much as I would have loved to kill the Rigging Runner. Maybe it's Runner Tribal. You got Lava running, you got Rigging Runner. Who else runs? I think there was like a Viashino with haste at one point that runs. Just mono runners. Marathons and, you know, 1K tribals or whatever's. I'm not a runner. I don't know these things. I just hear about them on the Facebook. People always have to post if they did some running. Lots of running going on Facebook. I don't know if you know this. It's an epidemic. It's spreading. Everybody's running on Facebook all the time. All right, the Phoenix shutting this game down. I love it. So, think I'll cycle this and see if I get a better option. Well, is that even important? What I should do is probably bring back this Scrounger and play this Chain Whirler. Although my opponent has a lot of 1-drops. Makes it really tempting to hold this for value, but I don't think it's that important. And it lets me attack with this Phoenix. Yep. Alright, so we're just going to go down to our Cycling Slew in the hand. Get him! Get over the top. Get in there for 4. Phoenix, you are the boss. I wouldn't trade you for any other mythic right now. That's probably a lie. Alright. Chains! Whirl those chains! What's up with the animation, by the way? Why do they have, like, confetti? I don't get that. Shouldn't, like, considering the impact this card is having on Magic, shouldn't a goblin, like, fly out and just swing a chain around and hit everybody? Isn't... whatever. Guess they just didn't have that one on the radar with the latest update. Our opponent needs to play this Shock or Lightning Strike or whatever they're holding to end this whole charade, as it is taking time out of all our lives. All of our lives are being wasted because you're trying to perfectly time this Lightning Strike. Oh my gosh, is it really worth the timeout? It can't be. Oh my god. Clock running. The Phoenix! The Phoenix! Our opponent is trying to kill the Phoenix, and they're relying on a top deck to do it. I call that gutsy. That is Naruto level gutsy. And the top card is our opponent possibly asking himself, well, how do I win this game? Well, the Phoenix would have to die. But I'm not sure that you would want a Wizard's Lightning on end step. I mean, if that was the play anyway, wouldn't you at least nuke the attack? Yeah. Hey, look at that. Look at them. Look at them go. Oh my gosh. It's legend. Wait for it. Dairy. I'm probably going to cycle this instead of bring back the Scrounger, since none of that's very good against the Rigging Runner. So let's go ahead and try to get to our next 4-mana Mythic, and there they are. Holy guacamole. All right, I'm not going to courier this hand anytime soon. I may as well plus for... Again, getting Scrounger back doesn't do much, but I could just kill this. I have 2 Chandras. Let's do it. Let's kill it. Let's just get him dead. Our opponent runs auras. We saw Consuming Fervor.
S'mores, anyone?
Oh, Chandra, I want some more of you. All right. Now, what's your top deck? Well, Apollo of the PT 24 times, or born in 1924. Hard to say. Hard to say what it is. What did you draw? Tank for 5 minutes, play mountain, say go. A fanatical firebrand, you say. Interesting. Well, that is going to kill this Chandra, but not this Chandra. Ooh, but if he lets me go, maybe his target is the Bomat Courier? Nope. Nope, of course he's going to attack. That makes more sense anyway.
Watch it.
Feisty. Alright, our opponent at 9. Can't really kill him here. I think we just... Do we want to empty the... Yeah, we should empty the hand so that the Bomat Courier can draw 4 cards. So we'll go... Sequencing doesn't really matter whether we attack first or not, but we'll go Chandra. Pause for quote.
I'm the best fire starter there is.
Yeah, take that, Stephen King. That's a really...
You're going down.
It's a very old reference. I probably shouldn't be making it. Let's scrap. Let's jam. And since there's no like disallow type effect or stifle thing, we can just hold our courier open. If our opponent tries to do something to it, we draw 4 cards. Oh, the joy of Bomat. Most of the time, it's a 1/1 that dies sadly. Every now and then, it's an Ancestral Recall or better. Every now and then, it's a new hand. People just live for that. The moments where you get to draw all of the cards. Oh, so good. I don't even know if we'll get a chance to do that this game. Apollo 24 PT may in fact scoop it up at any moment. Or they may play Glorybringer. You never know. The suspense is killing me. The music intensity increases. Going to attack step with 0 timeouts. Slow-mo red. Alright, my turn. Heart of Kirin. Think we plus go face. See what we hit. We haven't hit a Glorybringer yet today. That'd be one. That'd be a fun go home. Opponent's gonna tank on this activation. I suppose by not playing the heart first, I risk losing it to the courier, but I don't think that's important right now. Not really. Not in this spot. If our opponent has a removal spell, they might find a way to survive the turn. But, oh, that'll do. So it's 2 damage face or 1 damage, and they lose their blocker, so I'll take the chains. Rattle, baby. Whirl them. Whirl them. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I will draw these cards, yes? Yes, please. Alright, we'll try to finish the job here. Opponent's still holding a card, but it doesn't look like it's relevant. And that's the game. Smashings and bashings for all. Well, I hope you've enjoyed, if you are a red mage or into this kind of disgusting behavior of aggressive deck play. I actually had some fun. I'm not going to lie. The red-black version, specifically with the vehicles, it reminds me of my Duels of the Planeswalker days. I don't mind it so much. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you despise red decks and don't want to see me playing this stuff, don't worry. We've got some other things coming up. We're going to finish what I consider kind of the best meta decks, which would be mono green, aggro, Steel Leaf Stompy style, blue-white control, and blue-black control. Those are going to be the things I would recommend playing higher on the ladder. Once we get through those videos, it'll be back into Brew It Uptown and playing some of the other variety packs of Kaladesh to give you a preview. There's some improvised things, some Thopter things, some combo stuff. But you'll have to stay tuned to the channel for that, so hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you very much for your feedback. I'm CGB, and for this time, for this video, I am out of here.